Hello, and welcome back to the 10-Minute Professional, the podcast designed to help you navigate the political landscape of corporate America while maintaining your sanity and hopefully not becoming a soulless monster. My name is Gabe, I am your host, and I believe personal and professional development needs to happen around the clock. Time is money, and money's needed for life, so let's not waste any time and get to work so we can get back to focusing on our lives. Establishing positive relationships, both inside and outside your direct team, is critical when navigating the corporate world. Growing your professional network is key to advancing your career, as the powers that be need to have a favorable opinion of you so you can get that next title or pay bump. In my eyes, there are a handful of factors which are integral to building a successful professional relationship that we'll touch on today. However, the primary factor, which is imperative to establishing a positive relationship, regardless if it's personal or professional, in my humble opinion, is respect. Many factors go into establishing professional relationships. Open and direct communication, and ensuring that communication is centered around constructive or positive language, availability, visibility, and a willingness to help are all critical. But without mutual respect, I believe no relationship can truly flourish. Think back to every teacher, manager, or authority figure who you do not have the best recollection of from both your personal or professional history. Odds are, you can think of a plethora of things they did or said which soured your opinion of them. Maybe they spoke over or ignored you. They treated you like you weren't capable of completing anything or something else. Call those actions whatever you want. But I would say every single one of them illustrates a lack of respect. I've worked with a wide range of individuals across demographics, socioeconomic classes and sectors, from nonprofits to legal counsels to restaurants to education to tech. You get the idea. I've encountered people in each of these organizations, regardless of age, industry, or experience, who I would categorize as quote-unquote old school. What I mean by that term is these are the kind of people who talk down to others based on their place in the corporate hierarchy, who will ask questions which are not super pertinent to the discussion, likely just to needle someone else, or the kind of people who will say, well, so-and-so works for me, as opposed to framing their professional relationship as a partnership. Essentially, I call these people old school, who are a little full of themselves and who likely conflate their personal value with their corporate position. Another way to think of it is that whole I'm right, you're wrong, I'm big, you're small, Matilda mentality, which establishes any relationship as combative, argumentative, or adversarial from the outset. Someone who is not collaborative, who is antagonistic and talks down to people, is the sort of person no one is going to have a high opinion of. If that individual is all talk, does not treat others with respect, and even if they're known as someone who generates tangible results, that person is essentially painting a target on their back. Human beings do not always remember exact words which are spoken to them verbatim, but it's remarkable how in every one of our own individual way, we can recall how another person made us feel. I asked you previously to recall a manager or authority figure who spoke down to you, or that you didn't have a high opinion of. Let's switch gears a little bit and think about someone you respect, you admired, or who truly helped you in some way, shape, or form. Maybe it was a manager or coworker who spoke words of encouragement when you needed them. A teacher who helped you, or a person who just took the time to listen and actively pay attention when you spoke. Everyone is receptive to someone who treats them like a human being who is worthy of respect and value. Yet too frequently, in professional settings, I've observed people be rude, condescending, disrespectful, and just plain unprofessional for whatever reason. Whenever I see this, only one word comes to mind. Why? There's no value in acting unprofessionally in a professional setting because we're all there for one reason, to get paid. Additionally, it benefits everyone in a workplace to be collaborative because we all need something from one another. whether it be the establishment of a new cross-functional process, improved communication, or in a pie-in-the-sky view, a reduced workload, or something of the like. Communication is the greatest asset we have when we're operating in a professional setting. It's the means by which we build relationships, garner respect, advocate for ourselves, and get things done. It may sound trite, but if you want to build any type of successful relationship, you need to treat others with respect. If you find yourself hearing that and immediately thinking, well, that so-and-so is just useless, or, that makes sense, but it won't work with what's their name in the office because of XYZ, then I'd ask you to take a step back. If performance is lacking or personalities are toxic, organizations have processes to get those types of problems out the door. If you want to build a relationship, you treat someone with respect. Taking a second to think about how your communications, specifically your tone, your diction, and your body language, even on camera, can be perceived by your audience is a step I see too many people gloss over. However, this is imperative when we're in the workplace. On the Big Brain Hotshot Show, we call this the golden rule, treating others the way you'd like to be treated. If you yell and call someone an idiot in a professional setting, not only are you likely going to get in hot water with HR, but would you like if someone yelled at you and called you an idiot in your place of work? We may all be colleagues, but we're still human beings with emotions, predilections, needs, and personalities. If you work with people who are straight to the point, who detest meetings, and prioritize efficiency above all else, scheduling regular meetings where you're providing high-level strategic context, which has no bearing on their day-to-day, sounds like a could-have-been an email scenario. On the other side of the coin, only being curt and providing bulleted responses to coworkers who like to ask questions and talk things out may lead to them feeling alienated or unheard. I am a staunch advocate of this philosophy. Respect is given, not earned. This is to say, I respect everyone as a human being because, duh, but do not conflate this to mean I am a super sweet and nice guy, nor does it mean I personally enjoy the company of everyone I work with. However, I don't need to like someone's disposition or personality to work with them, and I suspect that particular sentiment is likely a philosophical difference between myself and those I consider to be old school. I believe mutual respect is the foundation every successful relationship is built upon, regardless if that relationship is personal or professional. The second you begin thinking, or more importantly, acting like you're better than others, that's when we begin to go down the path towards becoming out of touch, emotionally immature, and losing the respect of those around us. One of my many life philosophies, which may not be the most appropriate for the office, is don't be a jerk, be a dude. Act like an adult, treat others with respect, and always maintain an open mind. I look forward to our next discussion, and I hope you stay happy, healthy, positive, and above all,